Welcome back to some of the best stories from r/TalesFromTechSupport. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's take a look at the first story. It's called Just Doesn't Fit. Back in the early 2000s, when the UK job centers actively tried to help you get into work, I found myself on working experience through the New Deal. The work experience was in a local independent computer shop, one that builds and repairs computers, while also selling computer accessories and components. The layout is straightforward. There were only 3 rooms. From front to back was the all-in-one sales and work area, then kitchen, then toilet. So if you are working on a computer, you can hear and see what's happening at the customer service counter. The amount of crazy repairs that came through wasn't all that often. The same with computer builds. This is one of those crazy computer builds. I was sitting down doing a diagnostic on a computer when a guy came in, asking for a computer to be built, and handed over a spec list to my boss, who handles customers. My boss said that he'll just go over the list to see how much it will cost only for me to hear this. Sorry, but it's not possible to build a computer with these components. Why not? They are all components that came out in the last few years. True, these are components that came out recently. However, they are not compatible. What do you mean? Sorry, but an Intel CPU doesn't fit into an AMD motherboard. You've also listed SO-DIMM memory instead of DIMM memory. I'm assuming that the CPU is one of those that comes with its own cooling, which in turn, just like the CPU, would not fit the motherboard. My boss did a quick search on the computer and then returned to the customer. Although you did pick a good power supply, it's sadly not good enough. You need one that's 100 watts more powerful. So just picking components that look good isn't good enough? Boss shook his head. Sorry, but no. So the memory is for laptops. Intel CPUs require a motherboard with an Intel socket for it. The same with AMD. Usually CPUs come with their own cooling, but some don't. So you need to pick one that fits the motherboard. From a similar build that we do, you need a more powerful power supply, or you'd end up with problems. The customer was tapping the spec list. But I want this computer. I can order you the components, but we cannot build you the computer. You'll have to try and do that yourself. Or we can go through our build list and pick out a computer to suit your needs. The customer was tapping the list again. But why not these? Do you know anything about cars? Who doesn't? Okay, then picture this. Can you use diesel in an unleaded car? Can you fit a 2-liter van engine into a Ford Fiesta? What about a lorry's windscreen in a transit van? He reached under the counter and pulled out some CPUs and RAM before grabbing a customer's laptop. He then showed the customer an AMD and Intel CPU. There's a physical difference between the CPUs, in both the shape and the amount of pins they have. He then opened the laptop and removed the RAM. This is SO-DIMM, and this is regular RAM, needed for desktop computers. As you can see, they are also physically different. As the boss returned the stuff, the customer spoke up. So the list that I've chosen is useless? Pretty much. So what do? I want a new computer. Boss pulled out a couple of sheets with pre-built specs. Let's talk about your needs and wants. With that, they started discussing what sort of computer it will do. The next story is called Wi-Fi Explained. The CEO and I have a very good personal standing and help each other out every once in a while. Around 15 minutes to the end of my shift, my work phone rings. It's the CEO. Hey, can I bother you for a minute? It's something about my home network, if you're okay with that. Sure thing. What's up? So, my home internet is down and the router has its info LED lit up red. I googled it and it said that I can log into my router and it would tell me the error. But I don't know how to access the router. Can you help? Sure. So, open up your laptop and connect to your Wi-Fi. Then open up a browser and go to this IP. Well, I can't do that. I can't connect to the Wi-Fi. Have you tried rebooting the router? Like unplugging it, waiting 5 minutes and plugging it back in? Yeah, I did that, but it's not working. Well, okay. Do you see your Wi-Fi network at all? Does it say anything if you try to connect to it? Yeah, it just says no internet. Okay, so just open up Chrome and go to this IP. But how would I do that if I don't have Wi-Fi? the internet is not working. Oh, I see. Well, you can be connected to the Wi-Fi without having internet access. You can still access local resources then. And since your router is local to you, that will work. I'm very sorry, man, but I don't quite catch it. Alright, so imagine you have your car, but the gas tank is empty. Okay, yeah, you can still sit in it, turn on the radio and listen to music and turn the lights on, but you can't turn on the engine and drive it, yeah? Yeah, that's correct. In this case, the car is the Wi-Fi, the gas tank is your internet connection, and driving somewhere is accessing the internet. Oh, it did end up being an ISP issue, as I suspected, but I was glad that I could help. What have you used to explain things like that to your users? The third story is called Computer Name. I'm in tech support and a user calls, saying they need help on the computer. For this user, it would be easier to just see their screen than to try to decrypt their code. I ask for the computer name, which is printed on a white label on the laptop lid. They hesitate. I remind them where the label is. They say they don't know. I remind them where the label is. They ask if I can find out from my end. I remind them how it's one saying to close the lid a bit. It would be a minute to look it up and where the label is. They request that I find out from my end. I look up their computer, find their name and ask if the computer name is correct. They say yes. I asked if that's the name on the label. They say yes. I wanted to ask why they felt like wasting my time. That can never come back. But I just try to fix the issue as fast as possible so I can hang up. Unprompted, they say that they didn't know if they were supposed to say the name. I guess somehow they didn't trust the number they called, the company tech support line. I guess next time I'll just say I'll call them back once I figure out the computer name. The last story is called Rest Area. My mom worked as tech support for a super big three-letter firm. My mom worked in the 1990s in this firm as a server tech support in the Czech Republic. One day, she received a call from one of the state agencies that their system is not working at all. So she drove to the town to investigate. The conversation looked something like this. So, what is the problem? I can turn on the computer, but I can't even log in. This happens to all of us on all of the computers. Mom confirms that it's true and goes to see the server. When she walks in, she can see a dark server with cloth and a coffee pot on it, not to mention tables and chairs in the super small room. Why did you unplug the server? Oh, we thought that it's not needed, since nobody works on this computer. And this is the only air-conditioned room in the building, so we made it our rest area. This happened again a few weeks later. This time, Mom was able to determine by phone that they replaced the server with a fridge. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.